Our special in-depth reports Down Under with Ed Filmer continue with a look at the Australian outback. Ed traveled to Australia with the University of Missouri at Rolla solar car race team. The outback is a huge desert with just one paved road across it. A great place to race sun-powered cars, but maybe not much else going on out there?
Compared to the Ozarks, nothing out there. It's big and empty. You can drive an hour and not see another car. Gas stations 100 miles apart. Just goes on and on. The Rolla team found it both beautiful, big, boring, and occasionally surprising. In the outback, it's best to look before leaping into the bush.
Ants everywhere.
Ants, tens of thousands of ants. They park their solar car on an anthill.
Keep the ants off. People grabbing your will you look like
In the outback, ants, termites, and
just hang with it.
The flies, they just made you feel like you were being attacked all the time.
They saw flies, but not many kangaroos. In fact, this kangaroo crossing sign was the only kangaroo many of them saw.
Thank you.
Kangaroos can be seen pinned up, a few here and there as tourist attractions. What the Rolla solar car team saw as they drove across the outback can best be described as a vast expanse of nothingness. Imagine a place as large as the American Midwest, with just one paved road through the middle of it.
Biggest amount of nothingness I've ever seen. I've never seen so much of nothing.
Raw, I guess, would be the best word to describe it.
I think of the American West as being unpopulated, but this doesn't even compare. It's just much, much less densely populated.
Hour after hour, day after day, the Rolla solar car team inched across the continent. The rest of the solar cars were scattered up and down the highway. The fastest hundreds of miles ahead, the slowest hundreds of miles behind. The race was, for hours on end, uneventful.
It gets boring after a while when you're going 35 miles an hour all day.
Each day's race lasted from 8 in the morning to 5 at night. A race official traveling with each team timed them. Wherever they stopped, that's where they spent the night, and often that was in the middle of nowhere.
I enjoyed it all. Being out there in the middle of nowhere, it didn't bother me at all.
Their menu was Spartan. Cold cereal in the morning, sandwiches at noon, and each night,
big brim bowl full of rice.
Good.
After you're together that long, it's really hard to kind of stand each other.
You have no privacy. You give that up for 3 weeks that we've been here.
Places like these, every 100 miles or so, they call them roadhouses. Combination gas station, grocery store, and saloon. And at this one, a walk-up window. Aboriginal people suffer from chronic alcoholism near the roadhouses. There's a lot of fighting, a lot of problems. Aboriginal people are no longer welcome inside here.
It's a life all unto itself. There's homesickness, people you love, you don't get to talk to them as much.
It's completely different than anything we've ever done before.
They raced through the outback 7.5 days. Almost 2,000 miles of sun, heat, clouds and wind, ants and flies. Looking down the road to the finish line.
Hopefully tomorrow. I hope it gets easier.
Everyone asks, did we see any kangaroos? They're very shy, and unless you get off the road and into the bush and sneak up on them, in the outback you only see their tracks, kind of like deer in the Ozarks. You have to go looking for them.
You know, when you think of the outback, we've romanticized it so much, but you make it look so difficult, so hard and rough.
It is a little difficult, but it can be done. A lot of people travel there to Ayers Rock, for example, the big rock formation in the middle of the desert. And a lot of people go there for the solitude. They like to get away from it all. That's a good place to get away from it all.
And a lot of people think they're going to drive the Outback, and they'll go out so far, turn around, and come back to the coast.
It's very dangerous out there. If you don't know what you're doing, you shouldn't be going. You should always consult the locals to find out about road conditions for off